Wake up, Marvin. We need to make a video.
Another video? Isn't there a more capable YouTuber out there to do this?
Well, yeah, but the people clicked on this video.
Oh, please spare them.
I did a video about 8 months ago called The Ultimate Stream Deck. I may have gotten a bit overzealous with that title because I found a tool that not only does what STREAMERBOT does, but it offers more and it does it better, and that tool is called STREAMERBOT. Today I'm going to give you a crash course on how to manipulate scenes with various triggers, and as an added bonus, show you the TwitchSpeaker extension so you can have your computer reply back to you like Marvin does with me.
Oh, get on with it.
Hold on. There's going to be timestamps down at the bottom in the description, so you guys can jump ahead to whatever part you need help with. Let's get started. Essentially what STREAMERBOT is a virtual stream deck with slobs and OBS integration, stream elements integration. It can have voice controls, hotkeys, it can control channel points. Essentially, it does everything STREAMERBOT does and then more. It even has voice controls like "Let's go." And it has a C# compiler for you programmers that want to do even more with this. So today I'm going to show you how to set up the STREAMERBOT and show you what it can do. And then I'm going to show you how to make it talk back to you like, Marvin, tell us the joke.
Your channel is the biggest joke.
Oh. Okay, so the plan is we are going to manipulate a scene using STREAMERBOT. And there's a few things we have to talk about before we go ahead and manipulate the scene, and that is linking our accounts. Okay, so if we go over to OBS, you're gonna have to add a WebSocket. Now, if you watch the STREAMERBOT video, then you already know about WebSockets and you've probably already connected. So let's click auto connect on startup and reconnect on disconnect. Make sure your password and everything is the same or default. And if you don't have it, you can go to this web page. I'll leave a link down there for the WebSocket so you guys can connect this to your OBS. Slobs, we're not going to talk about anything about slobs today because I don't use it, I don't want it, but it's an option you have, and it probably connects the same way. Okay, yeah, it connects the same way. So let's go over to settings. Here we have just a list of things: general, cheers, subs, resubs, gift subs, stuff like that. We are going to go over to stream elements. Here, to add stream elements, you'll go to your settings, you'll get your token. You can get that from the stream elements page. And then you'll click auto connect and auto reconnect. The events you can have, this is for tips. You can have a generic action for any tip at all, for any and all tips, or you can have a specific action for ranges, say 69 to 420. We'll add that, and then we can have a action play, a specific action for if anybody tips between those numbers, or if you want it to be an exact number of tips, then you just 69. Okay, so we are going to build a channel point reward today, and I'm also going to show you how to activate this with voice control and hotkeys. But let's talk about channel point rewards with STREAMERBOT. As you see, we have a lot of channel points here. I think the max number of channel points that can be held on Twitch at one time is 50. So if you're like me and you have 45 rewards, you don't have a lot of room to work with. And what I mean for that is we're going to look through here and we are going to find news. We found it right here. As you see, it's not enabled because it is not an active channel point on our stream, and it is not owned by STREAMERBOT. So to make it owned by STREAMERBOT, we are going to right click and duplicate from, and we are going to duplicate. Now you see that it says news, copy, and it is now owned by STREAMERBOT. So we are going to delete the original from here, and we are going to rename this back to its original title. Now, for some reason, you need to leave a space, and from here, you can see that it's not enabled yet. It cost 1,000 channel points. You can have a message prompt with it, like breaking news. And you can customize the background color of the button. You can put redemption skips queue, which just lets it go over and over. I would not recommend turning that on. Max number of per stream that this can be redeemed, or max users per stream that can redeem this, a global cooldown, basically every other option LeoranBoard had, and then some. And if you want, you can add even an effect or something else that you build. It can trigger an event. So if we look in here in our creator dashboard under channel points, you notice that there is still 2 news redemptions. We have to delete the one that people have used before. We are going to reject these so they get their points back, and we can now have the one that STREAMERBOT owns. Make sure you do this because, like I said, you only have 50 that you can have at one time before they start auto deleting, and then you're left trying to figure out what's gone and what's original. Okay, welcome to the action tab. This is where we begin to manipulate our scene. So we're going to right click and we're going to add a action. We are going to call it news. Now grouping, I'm not exactly sure what grouping is or does. And queues, as you see, we have a queue for our welcome message. What that would do is if more than one person comes into your stream from the welcome message, I have mine set on first time chatters. Say 10 people chatted at once. We don't want this, we don't want our welcome message to greet all 10 back to back to back, or all at once. It would be a jumbled mess. So we put them into a queue and it does it one at a time. Again, ANDILIPPIS has a better way of explaining this, but that's essentially what a queue does. You queue an action so people can't spam it, or so it can go through the list executing in order one at a time. Now that we got our news made, let's go over to sub actions. This is where the magic happens, and it's slightly different. Well, it's a totally different layout from LeoranBoard, but it is essentially the same thing. So we are going to come down here and find OBS or slops, depending on what you use. And what we're going to do from here is we need this first to change a scene. So we are going to use set active scene, and that active scene is going to be our news scene. So it's going to immediately switch to our news scene. Then from here, just like LeoranBoard, we need to set a source filter. I put a filter on my microphone, and it's going to be set for the scene, the source, and what filter we're going to use. And then we want to set that state as visible. And from here, we are going to, okay, so we could add a delay here. I'm going to make a quick disclaimer about delays. Delay timer stack. And what that means is If I add a 1 second delay, they are measured in milliseconds, and then I add another second delay, that's going to make this 2 second delay. And it doesn't matter which order it is or which order it comes through. So if you want something to last for 30 seconds, but you put a delay somewhere in the middle, then it is going to be, say, a 31 second delay. So make sure that you actually add the total time you think it would take. So if we go up to our goal, here, you notice I have a ton of delays, and that's just to make this text flash. And I have 16 delays that will come out to 8 seconds. Because they're half-second delays. And if you notice, I don't have a final delay here to hide everything, because all of this adds together. Just keep that in mind when you're using delays. Okay, and if we go to our height, you'll notice that I have these grouped. One for our main gaming scene and one for our chatting scene. I don't have many delays. These are tied together in time, but without this break in the middle, if somebody would trigger this hype event, if I did not group these together and somebody would trigger that, it would play this scene and then it would immediately play my just chatting scene. So it would set it off twice. This break is found under logic, and it's the first option. What this is doing is breaking the chain of commands so that these can be set for different scenes, so they don't all play together on a scene you don't want it to play. Okay, now I already built this scene up in OBS. What we're gonna need it to do now is set a trigger, or set a source visibility state. We have a little news flash like video, right? And we need that to be popped up when this happens. Now, what we have to do next is essentially just duplicate these actions. And then we can click on them where it's needed, and we want to set this state as hidden. And we want to put a delay in between here so that this scene only lasts for, let's say, 30 seconds. Okay, so now what we're going to want to do with this set active scene is change that to the last task we were doing before we were interrupted by a news break, which was probably gaming. So we're going to switch it back to the gaming, or our main scene. And then we have our stuff set to hidden. So now, if let's talk about triggers. Okay, so now voice commands. As you see, we have tons of voice commands, and this is the beginning steps of how we get Marvin to talk to us. But let's add a voice command. So we are going to once again name it test for this example. The command we are going to give is this just in. Now the location, what location means is if we come up here to log, it is recording and keeping a log of everything we are saying, and it gives us a accuracy detection. So it knew I said this, it was 85% sure I said this, it was 72% sure I said this. And what the location does is, in that log of text, it will have to detect exactly this phrase, or this phrase will have to be at the start of a sentence, or this phrase can be anywhere in the sentence. So let's do anywhere, and we want it to trigger the action news. The override global, I think that means like a cooldown or something of the sort. We don't have a cooldown set for this, so we don't have to worry about that. Make sure the check mark is enabled. This just in. Make sure to follow on Twitch at twitch.tv/bravado for more tutorials and gameplays and hotkeys. So if we set up a hotkey, we can essentially make it any key that we want on our keyboard, and we can add modifiers. So say we want it to be 1, we can make it Alt 1. Group, just like we said in the actions, we don't have any groups set up, so we just wanted to trigger the news. And hit OK, and now when we click Alt 1, make sure to click that subscribe button so that I know you guys are enjoying this content. And leave a like or a comment if you have any more questions about this program. And yeah, those are the 3 ways that you can trigger this command. But we have it set up as a channel point now. So if we come over here, we select news, and we are going to click enable. And then we already selected our action, so we're going to click OK. We're going to come over here, and we are going to see a shiny new button. When we redeem that, you guessed it. So I have got the prompt wrong. The explanation for the prompt is wrong. Okay, so I got the explanation for the prompt wrong. What that prompt does is the description of the reward. If we come back over here and go to our news, that is not shiny nor new anymore. We click on it, it leaves a description, breaking news. So the prompt is kind of misleading, but it's a description for the channel point. Okay, so TwitchSpeaker is a extension that collabs with STREAMERBOT. It has essentially everything STREAMERBOT does, but it triggers, and instead you build everything in STREAMERBOT, and then TwitchSpeaker speaks it. So if you go to users, I haven't messed around with this too much, but I got it working for what I wanted it to work with, and it can do more, right? So if we go to events, say somebody follows, okay, we can have, it comes with predetermined thank you for the follow, %, name, %. What this is a code, and it will pull their username and say their username. And then it has another one, oh hey, name, thanks for hitting that follow button. And if you want to add a custom message like, what are you doing? Run, %, name, %. What are you doing, name? Run. And we have to click the enabled button. So let's save that. So now when we get a follow, this message will also be read aloud. And then you can do the same for sub with a message, and it would say thanks for the tier 1 subscription, name, and then % message. It would read out whatever message that they give. So if you want your bot to read out tips, it can do it. You notice that tips are not here, right? Or yeah, they are. Stream Elements tips. Look at that. It was just hiding. So it'd say thank you, name, for that donation of amount and currency. But if we manipulate this, and instead of saying what currency they're spending and put message, in your stream elements, you allow a message, it would read the amount that they tipped followed by their message. You have to make sure that in your stream elements, you allow them to have a tipped message. And then if we go to custom commands, you see we have one set up for our dad joke and one for the intro of this YouTube video. So when we say, Marvin, tell us a joke,
Your mother.
oh, he replies back with your mom. And then channel rewards, you can have it say like, okay, so say we're playing a VR game, right? And somebody wants life advice. Obviously it's ignored. No. Say input Well, I guess we would want it to say the input. That way we can be told, hey, this guy wants life advice. And then we can also say, hey, this name, or hold on, hey, yeah, I shouldn't call people this, huh? Name needs advice. And then we could just add that to this over here. Make sure to click the enabled button, and now when somebody redeems this, it tells you, hey, you're distracted, you didn't see this person, you know, you get how it works. And okay, so let's talk about the settings. So we want the audio output device obviously to be our headphones or speakers, whatever bleeds through your stream, right? Down here you have save TTS audio files. I don't really do that. It actually saves it to your computer and can probably get filled up pretty quick. Down here, default voice alias. To get a voice alias, and this is the important part, is go over to voice aliases. Wait, no. Go over to speech engines. Now down here you see I have Microsoft Azure Cognitive Services credentials. You don't need it. I'll leave a link down in the video to show what these are. Essentially, all they are is if you don't like the default voice of the computer or that comes with your system, you can create an API service to unlock different voices. All of them have a free trial, but you still have to give credit card information, and about halfway through the process of obtaining a subscription key and giving them that, after 15 steps, I gave up halfway through. So what I use is SAP15, and that gives me the voice aliases of David and Zero, which come default on my desktop, and that's all I really needed to begin with. So colored me silly when I didn't realize that in the first place. So now that we have our voice aliases and our speech engine set up, let's go here and let's see how we do this, right? We're gonna go back to our test. Okay, so let's clear out our test. Now what we're gonna wanna do, okay, it can read a little bit of everything, right? It can read your follows, it can read your donations, it can read all that within the Twitch speaker. But say you want it to read a random text file, like with the dad joke, or what's another one where he talks to us? Actually, oh, clip that. Okay, so when I tell him to clip something, he talks to me. Just to show you guys how to set this up and how to implement it into your things, we need him to read from a file. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna I use this folder for some reason. We're just gonna use our intro since we're done with it. And we are going to say, it's going to say test, and we'll give it something else to say. I quit. So let's save what that file is. Now, there's two ways you can make this bot talk. And if we go to add action, we are going to go to file. We can read lines from the file, or we can read random lines from the file. And we can write to a file, which I don't know what it is. So yeah, don't worry about that. We're going to let it read a line from a file. We click on the three dots, we find our text document that we wanted to read, which is our intro. I should have renamed it, but it is what it is. Now we're going to come down here to TwitchSpeaker, and we're going to click speech. We are going to select the voice alias of David, and the message, this is where it comes into play. We are going to let it line 0. The reason we are doing line 0 is because 0 is actually line 1, which is test. So we need a way to trigger this real quick. Let's set it up with a voice command. Actually, we'll say test. We'll leave it named intro anywhere, and it's going to be test. All right.
Test.
There you go. It recognized that I said it. Test.
Test.
Okay. Now, say we want it to read from a random line. It lagged. Okay, so if we want it to read from a random line, let's go to delete. Let's delete that action. It is lagging. And let's go again to logic. No, I'm sorry. Let's go to file, read from random file. And then we need to once again select the same folder. Oh no, it is crashing. Let's go to intro. Yeah, I have no idea why it's being so slow right now. It must be my computer. Well, my computer crashed, and as you see, I have to rebuild everything. But for the sake of the video, I guess the show must go on, so we're going to create another test. David is our default, and we are going to add the code random line test.
I quit.
So if you guys have any further questions or further information on this, leave a comment or join our Discord where we can help. Also, down at the bottom, I'm going to be leaving the STREAMERBOT Discord where there's tons of resources for the more advanced questions you guys might have. I suddenly have to rebuild everything. So if you guys thought this video was helpful, or if you found the answers you were looking for, give us a like, consider subscribing, follow me on Twitch and Hover, and as always, thanks for watching.